Well, there's oil in some places. We know that we've gotten oil like in Bayou Barataria that have come into there. I think it depends where it is. Let's start at the simplest and go to the more complicated. If it's on a beach, that's very easy to clean up. There'll be some oil in the sand, but it can be raked up, it can be shoveled up, it can be handled. So tar balls or oil on beaches is easy to handle. And I say easy relatively. None of this is easy. When you get down into the estuaries, it becomes much more difficult. Sometimes some of the cleanup can actually cause more damage to the coastline and to the estuaries than leaving it alone. It remains to be seen, but we can go back and we can look at other oil spills. When Hurricane Katrina came through, the news focused on the devastation of New Orleans and most of South Louisiana, but we had a large number of oil spills, probably more oil than anybody could ever imagine. A lot of it was just left alone. In a year, there's hardly any signs when they monitor these things, but a year later, there wasn't a lot of signs. Now, most of this was not in the marshy area. It was in more solid areas, but there was a fair amount. But here in South Louisiana, we have millions of microbes who are going to break down this oil. It's hot, it's sunny, so we're going to have photooxidation. And so particularly the light sweet crude breaks down relatively quickly because it has more of the lower molecular weight hydrocarbons. There was one area near Empire, and you can find this on the internet. There's a NOAA report that actually shows these pictures, and it's really amazing. There was a tank that broke, and there was crude oil over a very large area. So they did burning, and they were actually able to burn it, and within 6 months, the grasses had come back because they had burned the oil up. The roots of the plants were still there, and they were able to come back. At the very tip of the coastline, it's more difficult to do that because if we destroy the plants that are there, we're going to get coastal erosion. So the issue becomes, what is the balance? And that is going to be a lot of research, a lot of decision making as to, is it better to leave it there and let Mother Nature take care of it, or do we need to go in and try to accelerate the bioremediation by adding nutrients or other bioremediation types of efforts? Physical removal, you might be able to remove some of the mousse that's still in the water, but actually getting down in there, you may be causing more damage to that plant life and those benthic organisms by the visible disturbance of it. Yesterday on the news, there was actually, they showed photographs of where there was oil that had gotten underneath the sand in the marshy areas. So if we have oil that is getting into the sludge or getting into the sediments, that's going to be a much longer type of bioremediation because it's going to move from aerobic to anaerobic. And we don't have near as many anaerobic bacteria, and you have to have various other reducers that are present, since those are mainly anaerobic reduction reactions. So I think it depends where it is. There's going to need to be a scoping to see where we have our most damaged areas and where we have the greatest amount of oil. So if there's areas with light oil, it may be best to leave them alone. If there's areas where there is substantial oil, then there may have to be some remediation techniques.